Hi guys, welcome back to Geek the Gathering. It's been a while, about a year since I made a video. I don't think I've made a video since Battlefront 2 came out, but today I'm going to cover some concept art I made for Marvel Phase 4. I'm planning on doing a Battlefront 2 video soon. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So first, I'm working on the assumption that in the next Avengers film, which would be, they originally said it would be Infinity War Part 2, but I believe that they're calling it something else now, something like Avengers Endgame or something. I'm assuming that the original Avengers will have to sacrifice themselves to, because if you actually have a look at who's left after Infinity War, it's only the original Avengers. So I'm presuming they'll have to sacrifice themselves or something to get back, Spider-Man, Black Panther, and everybody. So yeah, the first concept art I made was Guardians 3, which will be the third in that trilogy. Probably the final. They haven't made Part 4 to anything. I don't think they will. So that'll be the final Guardians film. The concept art itself was really easy to make. I just took the Volume 2 logo and color shifted it. I always get quite a few questions about what program I use. I use Photoshop CC to do all the concept art. I used that for the Battlefront videos that I did as well. So yeah, this is the only bit of concept art that I used other material for. So most of the other bits I've made from scratch. I haven't thought too much about the actual story of these films. I just like to create stuff in Photoshop, so I've given brief descriptions for each one. All of this will be on the website, which will be linked in the description. There'll probably be a little eye in the corner of the video at the moment or whatever. You can go download the images there, just right click and save as or whatever. I think they're about 3,500 pixels by 1,500 pixels, so they're pretty high resolution. I think they take a lot of space. But yeah, Guardians Volume 3 will probably introduce Adam Warlock, who is teased in the end of Guardians 2. So the next one, Spider-Man Homecoming. This was another pretty easy one to make. I just looked up a font for it. I can't remember what font I used. It'll probably be in the description as well, or I'll put it in the blog post. I couldn't think of a good subtitle for this one, so I just put Homecoming 2. So yeah, the next one is Captain America Falcon. Obviously, Falcon would take over the role of Captain America like he did in the comics for a while, I believe. I think it would be pretty awesome. This one again, I just found a Captain America font for. So yeah, moving on to the next one, which is Nova. I don't actually know much about Nova. I don't read many comics. I've read Civil War, I enjoyed that, but that's about it. So yeah, this one, another, they're all fairly easy to make actually. You just find the right font and you're halfway there. Yeah, the next one's Captain Marvel 2. Haven't seen the first one, and I don't know much about the character either, so could set up Secret Wars or something, which is next one. This one is the new Avengers. So if the original Avengers die in Infinity War Part 2 or whatever they call it, Avengers Endgame or whatever, which I'm not sure whether they do because they've just got Thor right, which would be a bit of a shame because Thor was before one of the most boring characters in the MCU, but has become one of the most interesting just because of his new amazing power set that's just amazing to look at, the lining and everything. So yeah, this team would be led by the Wasp. The Wasp actually founded the original Avengers in the comic books, I believe. So yeah, she would be the leader of the team, and then we'd have basically the rest of the MCU. So we might not have all these characters in it. I'm not sure. Obviously, this is all just speculation. Ant-Man, Black Panther, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, Falcon as Captain America, Doctor Strange, White Wolf, Bucky, or Winter Soldier, or whatever, War Machine, and Hank Pym would be the new Iron Man, the new Tony Stark, in the sense that he makes all the stuff, he funds the operation, and that would act as kind of, I've split it up into two parts, phase 4.0 and phase 4.5. So phase 4.0 is kind of, it leads up to the new Avengers Secret Wars, and that's what they do in the movie. The events of Secret Wars would happen, which I'm not actually sure. So something about scrolls or something. I don't know. I haven't read the comics. I've heard it's a good storyline. I think I have one of the original comics in my small comic collection, but I haven't read it. The next movie is Wolverine. So I'm also assuming that the Disney Fox deal goes through, which I really hope it does, because it would be awesome to see the X-Men and the Avengers either team up or fight against each other, which we'll get onto later. But this would be the first one, obviously introducing Wolverine. This is actually one of my favorites of the logos I made, probably my favorite. So yeah, this would introduce Wolverine separately to the rest of the X-Men as a solo movie. So yeah, and then we go on to, and that would be the start of Phase 4.5. Then we get on to Fantastic Four. All the other, they've done Fantastic Four. There's been 4 Fantastic Four movies now, coincidentally, if you include was it the one from the late 80s, 90s or something, the TV movie, which looks absolutely horrible. Yeah, this would be it would skip the backstory because we have already done that 3 times, and just they did it with Spider-Man as well in the MCU, which worked quite well. So yeah, the next one is probably my favorite actually logo, Spider-Man Sinister Six. So this would be the final in the Spider-Man trilogy. It would obviously focus on Sinister Six, but I also thought it could introduce Miles Morales as well, which is a character that a lot of people want to see. I think it would be pretty cool. He is going to be, I believe, the main character in the Sony animated movie. I can't remember what it's called now. The next movie is Black Panther Storm. I haven't actually seen the first Black Panther, so yeah, and the logo is a lot of logos are quite hard to replicate because the official ones are in 3D. Photoshop does 3D, but I really didn't want to learn it at the moment. I'm not great with 3D stuff, like, Blend. I have Blender, but it's surprisingly difficult to use. I'm a lot more comfortable using 2D Photoshop and everything. So, but I thought this one could. I thought Black Panther 2 could be used to introduce Storm as well, which is a character from the X-Men. I believe introduced. I don't think she was in the original X-Men from the 60s. I think she was added in later. The next movie is X Academy. So this would be kind of an X-Men film. It would be set in modern day, but all the X-Men mutants would be in their younger forms, so kind of first class to Apocalypse kind of thing. And the final one is the New Avengers X. So this could either be a team up between the New Avengers and the X-Men, or it could be kind of a versus, so Avengers versus X-Men thing. So that's all the ones they made. I think they've said that they're gonna make 10. I made 12. None of this is. A few of these movies will probably become a thing. Like they're definitely gonna do Black Panther 2 at some point. Definitely a Spider-Man 2. They might decide to keep X-Men in like their own separate universe. I really hope they introduce them into the MCU though. I think they'd be missing an opportunity to not have a team movie, because this is the closest that we've gotten to it if the deal does go through. Captain Marvel 2 will probably happen as well, depending on how successful that movie is. I think that's coming out. Is it 2019? I can't remember now when it's coming out. If the old Avengers do die, I should imagine they'll do New Avengers, but I'm not sure. I think the way that Infinity War ends kind of says that the old ones, because everybody who died were new characters. They have movies coming out. They have it confirmed. In fact, they actually confirmed Spider-Man 2. I remember now. And there have been leaked photos from the set of Avengers 4 where they go back in time to the first Avengers. So it could be something to do with time travel. I know Captain Marvel will be a big part of the story, I think the least likely movie out of all of these is probably Captain America Falcon. Yeah, because they have said, I think, that they're not going to do a fourth part to any of the trilogies. But this would be kind of a separate trilogy to the original Captain America, being Falcon's Captain America now. Nova, I think, is also pretty unlikely. I'm not sure whether they've said anything about doing Nova. I'm not sure whether they'll actually attempt to do another Fantastic Four, or whether they'll leave that for for later, or just not do it because of the previous movies. And I think X Academy, if they do an X-Men film, it would be called X-Men. I chose to call it X Academy just to difference itself from the Fox movies, because there could be a lot of confusion around that for people who aren't big MCU fans. So yeah, that's all the stuff that I made. Hopefully I'll be making a Battlefront video soon. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Oh, thanks for 250 subscribers, which is nuts. I think we're getting close to 50,000 views, which is crazy. That's a lot of people, a lot of views. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.